if they're going to just have their hands full with troubles.
Okay, well, then let me ask you this question. Why do they keep saying, because you worked in the White House, you worked, headed up the Treasury, you've been, part of it, different international bodies studying the Russian-U.S. relations. So you've got your finger somewhat on the pulse of this better than I do. They keep saying to the liberal press, get ready, he's going to do things you don't like. He's going to do things internationally you don't like. He's going to do things militarily you don't like. And the press says, well, what is it? Well, we can't tell you. What is it they're talking about, or what do you think it may be they're talking about that they're worried and getting the media and the population ready for it? Because, that's all they talk about. There's probably 25 articles a day with even Merkel and Brown and Sarkozy. That's all they're talking about.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I really don't know. But all I can say is I don't think their power is very great. And I think the new, very heavily populated countries are going to carry the balance of power in the future. India and China, even possibly Brazil. These countries are on the rise. They're not going to put up anymore with being bossed around by a bunch of dumb shit Europeans and Americans. They're just not going to.
Dr. Roberts, please. We got a lot of stations out there, but I guess you're the former head of the Treasury, so whatever. The point is, I'm even hearing this kind of talk on NPR now, so I guess things are changing. My point is, here's another example. I go on Russia Today just like you do. I talk to Russians. They're trying to be free market. They hate communism. I talk to them. But then I go on Russia Today. I say it's wrong that we attack Georgia, Russia through Georgia into South Ossetia as a proxy. And then I have all these idiot neocons emailing me going, you work for the Russians, you're KGB. They're so childlike. You worked out some of the deals with the Russians there at the end of the Reagan administration that helped bring down the Berlin Wall and the rest of it. Would you like to explain to them, from your perspective, who the Russians really are today, instead of just claiming they're a bunch of commies?
Well, they're not commies. Gorbachev was a commie, and he gave it up himself. So, no, they're not commies. They've had 75 years of that, and it cured them. And, if you look at the way their leaders speak, they speak the way we used to speak. They want international cooperation. They want international law. They want people to follow the rules. They don't want arms races. They don't want military adventures. They sound like our founding fathers. So they don't have any empire aims. And I think communism is a gone thing. It's gone even in China. They still have the Communist Party, but they're not communist in any policy sense or any political sense.
Well, they keep calling it socialism to bail out these banks, but I just call that a good old-fashioned looting or bank robbery. So, but if anybody's...
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It was a heist. It was a bank heist. They took all that money, and they gave it to banks, and they're using it now to borrow the banks. So the whole thing was a fraud, like everything else they've told us. Like 9/11, like Iraqi weapons of mass destruction, like Iranian nukes. They tell you stuff, get everybody all scared, and rush something through that it was pillage, yeah.
Well, that's my last question, sir, and then we're going to let you go, and we appreciate the time. I remember reading the banker bailout bill, and by the way, the final version had it just in more legalese terms, about no one can review this, no one can look at this, it will be secret, no court can review it. Bloomberg reported correctly, Ron Paul's reported it's more like $5 trillion. They've already sucked about $1 trillion out. And now, even the New York Times reported, the head of Goldman Sachs in a conference call with another one of the big brokerage firms saying, oh, this is great. We're going to use this for bonuses and to buy other banks and insurance companies and other corporations. And no, we're not going to loan it out to the people and get the economy going. And they're so arrogant, just in front of reporters, they'll brag about it. It sounds like insane hubris. And then Goldman Sachs England took a £7.5 billion bonuses, 14 plus billion in dollars. And I mean, again, every time I think I can't be shocked, it just goes to a new level of insanity.
That's right. You know, we're easy. We're people who are easy to con because they still trust the government despite everything they've seen and learned and witnessed, and whatever it tells them the next day, they'll believe that too. That's the whole problem, isn't it, Alex?
Well, I agree that some people are dumbed down, but they had 1,000 to 1 phone calls. Polls were 95, 98, depending on the poll, against the bailout. And then I had congressmen on. They were threatened with physical martial law by the executive branch if they didn't pass that a month ago. So, in a way, it's not even the people of the Congress now. I think it's just executive terrorism, and now Obama's announcing his whole cabinet, basically, and it's the same people.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same people, but still, where are they going to get the money? The economy's in recession. I mean, you saw what the job report was today.
Yeah, a million.
Another 200,000 down. And even the rig way of measuring unemployment, they say now it's the highest in a couple of decades.